Okay, let's get started. Turtle time.
Well, you can't say that Sean Penn doesn't love smoking. That's right. Sean Penn looked at the Golden Globes and thought, this must be the place to light up a huge cigarette and waft the smoke into Leonardo DiCaprio and Chase Infinity's faces. Leonardo DiCaprio held his nose and didn't let any of the smoke get up there, but you could tell he was totally pissed. Amy, where were you when you saw this cigarette snafu at the Golden Globes?
Probably on my couch or in my bed. But it really is bold. It's one thing to vape and sort of just blow it to the side, but a true cig indoors is wild. He really doesn't care.
No, you told me you gave me a peek into his psychology earlier this year. You said, or last year, you said he loves cigarette smoking so much and he doesn't care about the effects, and he says you want to smoke as much as you could. You remember when you told me that interview? And people are showing it now, that interview of him in black and white smoking a cigarette. He goes, I love these things. Yeah,
he's like, it's awesome. No, every time they cut to him, it was a jump scare. He looks so disheveled. They did make the host did call him say he was turning into a leather handbag.
Really? Who said that?
Nikki Glaser.
Really? She said you look like a leather handbag?
Yeah.
He's starting to look like his character at the end of One Battle After Another. He's starting to turn into a cigarette.
Yeah. There was one meme that was like someone's TV. It was like extra orange, but he looked like bright orange. And he looked all like, he had sort of like a serene look on his face. And it was like a carrot when you pick it from the ground.
Wow, really? Oh my God.
His hair's like a tuft.
I didn't see serene orange carrot Sean Penn. I just saw that one little thing of him kind of having a sneaky cigarette. But yeah, pretty, cool. He didn't do it during the broadcast though, right? Was like, it was just one of those moments, sort of fly on the wall moments that was caught of him trying to get away with it.
Did you see the Leo moment that everyone was lip reading?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't really think it was that, that interesting or whatever. It was just
We're all just so desperate for him to have personality that anytime he's goofy for a single second, we're like, give me more.
Really? You think there's a lack of personality from Leo?
I mean, he doesn't speak.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
What am I missing that you're watching?
Well, remember, remember. Now I'm trying to rack my brain. No, well, remember in Mr. Scorsese, he's one of the most engaging talking heads, I felt. Do you remember he was like saying all those anecdotes about...
That's like rare, though. That's how much he loves Scorsese. And it wasn't really personal. It was about Marty.
Oh, so okay. I see. You mean, okay. I get this now, and I was wrong to lead us astray here. You mean Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't say any shit about himself ever, and give even any quirks about himself, that seeing him be a little off the cuff, how he talks with friends, that playful way, made us start to scream and squeal.
Yes. Nikki Glaser even made a joke during the show because she made fun of him having a young girlfriend, and she was like, sorry. She's like, it's cheap to do jokes like that, but literally you don't give us anything else. She was like, she referenced a like Teen Beat or like Tiger Beat magazine interview he did when he was like 12, where it was like favorite food. And it said pasta and more pasta. And she was like, is that still true? And he gave her a thumbs up.
That's funny. That's pretty funny. He said pasta when he was at 12. Is this what's eating Gilbert Grape? Or even pre-Gilbert Grape.
Even younger. He looks really young. Someone found it, and it says his favorite actor is Jack Nicholson on it.
Wow.
And he also, see, look how young he is.
Wow. Pasta and more pasta. My favorite actor is Jack Nicholson.
And it says, favorite car, my dream car would be a solar-powered 1982 Jaguar. So he was woke for the planet since the start.
He is so, wow. I mean... You said we don't know anything personal about him, but I just got a lot of personal details. Wow, so his dream of meeting Jack Nicholson was fulfilled on The Departed with Martin Scorsese. He must have been like a pig in shit, excuse my language, on the set of Departed when he's working with Jack and Marty. Like, holy shit, that's his Teen Beat dreams.
Yes. I love how this is like a questionnaire, but it includes height and weight, and he put 5'3", 120.
Wow.
Like,
He's
why
a
did they
kid.
make him put that?
He's a kid. Maybe if you wanted a cardboard cutout of him in your room, that you would have it. You could have it accurate to size. But,
Favorite book, Lord of the Flies. All right, I'll stop.
oh, that's Lord of the Flies.
It's giving middle school.
Totally. Oh my God. I think there are certain celebrities, obviously, that when they get to a tier, that sort of God tier of acting, that you're afraid that anything you say at a certain point is going to detract rather than give you, credit. And
it's smart.
Yeah, it sucks for us. We want our quirky, fun, silly people, but I actually I don't mind that I don't know shit about him. And I don't know shit about Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, what if he did say something in an interview and I was like, oh, that sucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's demystifying sometimes.
Smart to not be on social media. It's just rife with opportunities. Like I always say, when celebrities or when people have podcasts, I'm like, including us, it's a countdown to when you're getting canceled because you just talk too much. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh my God, I know. That's what I say to myself after everything we record. I'm like, why the hell did you say that? I mean, thank God for editing. It's like, holy shit, we are 1 degree away from getting canceled for anything we say. But your main point was true. We were so desperate to see Leo be a little bit fun like that. I don't know. I feel like I know enough about Leonardo DiCaprio, just enough to know about him.
He's just so paranoid. Like he takes it to a higher level. Beyonce is also very, she barely ever speaks. She's always just whizzing by like Sasquatch. But Leo, when he talks, he covers his mouth. When he's in public, he wears a hat and a mask. And it's like, you're like kind of paranoid to a degree that is weird. But also, I guess I get it because he's probably traumatized.
Yeah, but then when he doesn't cover his mouth, we get this lip reading about K-pop stuff, Like, I can kind of imagine at that level, you're probably just like, what the hell? Remember that? Why I think I know him so well is remember when he saw Jonah Hill on the street and they have those photos of him screaming and running up to Jonah Hill and scaring him, surprising him?
Yeah, he scared him.
I think he's silly and fun.
Yeah, I think so too. But it like makes me want to know more and hang out. But I bet he wouldn't be that interested in talking to me.
Well, maybe we've been talking about maybe getting new guests on Eternal Time. I wouldn't mind
for his Oscar campaign.
I wouldn't mind a Leonardo DiCaprio exclusive interview. God, if he said I like Bravo, could you imagine? We'd be screaming. I think it would shut the internet down for a second. We'd be like, have you ever seen Bravo? And he'd be like, yeah, I watched Below Deck once. And we'd be like, oh my God, stop the presses. We need to release this recording immediately.
He's like, I'm team Craig.
That would be so wild. Oh my God. I was just thinking how this is not your point at all. Well, kind of is. It's to your point, but I was thinking I've been listening to this Tom Cruise deep dive on this podcast where they were going through his entire filmography and talking about his career, which is an astonishing career. Obviously, he's been famous since the day he touched down on set. But the fact that we know so little about him, I'm like, is there going to be someone that has been waiting in the wings, like some British historian who Tom Cruise is going to release the vaults for, so that we actually get a tell-all biography? Because if Tom Cruise passes away someday, which I don't think he will. He might be the first person that lives forever, but I do want to kind of know. Like, that's kind of one of those like stories that like I want to hear his perspective. Like, I want an unauthorized full biography of Tom Cruise because I feel like it's like almost like I know we'll know him in future generations from his films, but it would just be like, I don't know, there's probably so much interesting shit that I would want to learn about what the hell's been going on with him his entire life.
I saw Avatar the other day and in IMAX, and they showed the Digger trailer in IMAX, and I was like, woo!
Really? Did everybody else get excited too?
It's just such a teaser. Like, I kind of love that they're like, you're going to want to eat this up, but we're only showing you this one little thing.
We talked about it. He's doing, if I remember, he's doing air guitar with the shovel or something in a big pit of dirt, right? Is that
it's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
They also show, I don't know I think it's probably just IMAX. I got to see 5 minutes of the Odyssey, and spoiler Looks freaking awesome.
Really? Whoa! Oh my God! Don't spoil this for me. But I have so many questions about it. So it looked awesome. Was Matt Damon in the trailer?
All 167 pounds of him.
Holy shit! And is it what part of the film is it?
Okay, 2 words. Trojan horse.
Really? It's when they don't look a gift horse in the mouth. They bring the Trojan horse to the gates.
Which is that? Well, okay, so it's like men around a table eating like turkey legs and stuff, like in like grog, and he's like, they're like, tell us the story we've heard so much about, and it's the Trojan horse. It's like you've probably seen the promo image. It's like the horse is like in the sand, in the ocean waves are lapping up on it, and they heave ho it out, and then it shows them in the horse and like them, getting in or whatever, and it's like a battle scene. And then it goes back to the table, and he goes, and I think you know the rest.
Really? Who is it? Matt Damon who says that?
Yeah.
No way. And I think you know the rest. That's for us. That's what we get to laugh. Like, we know the story of a Trojan horse. Yeah, I think gift horse in the mouth is relating to the Trojans. They go, knock, knock. They go, we got you a huge, huge wooden horse. You're going to want to bring this thing in right away. And then
is that an Odyssey thing, or are they melding lore?
I think that they're saying they're putting a real historical fact into a work of fiction to sort of maybe give it some more credence to this actual story, or like what's actually from fact and what's from fiction or something. But that is really interesting. I can't wait to see that trailer.
Yeah.
What'd you think about, before we talk about this Bravo shit, what'd you think about Avatar Fire and Ash?
I like the second one better.
Yeah. We have to say that.
I feel like Jim's technology really thrives in the water of it all. Like, it's fun to watch and it looks the prettiest. I feel like whenever they cut back to the military complex, I'm like, all right, enough of this. Giovanni Ribisi, Edie Falco, get out of here.
I agree completely. We've got the worst casting in history over there, and I love Edie Falco, but she's so miscast in that role. It's such a not fun role at all. They're so boring, especially in Giovanni Ribisi. Like, the entire military base. I agree with you. I'm kind of glad, spoiler alert, I'm kind of glad that they blew the shit out of that military compound out of there, because those are the worst characters.
What did Daddy Jim, see in this Spider Boy? Why did he get the role?
You're saying, you mean that there are some scenes in which quite possibly Spider, it doesn't live up to sort of what is asked of him.
I mean, the combination of the dialogue plus the acting is actually more otherworldly than any of the blue people or the like planetary inventions.
Right. There are some Spider detractors that say that unfortunately he has a little bit of trouble in some of these scenes. I am so just team Spider, of just the idea of Spider. Actually, Spider to me embodies what Avatar is. It's just like, what the hell was he thinking in every way? Like, and then the fact that Spider is now becoming the main character of the franchise.
They really hone in on him and his father.
It's such a odd, it's such an odd choice, and I think that's sort of it in the context of, though, Avatar as a franchise. It makes total sense. Like, what the hell is going on? But there is a scene specifically, spoilers for Avatar Fire and Ash, where they have sort of a what is it, Abraham, that biblical story, where it's supposed to be one of the most epic scenes in the world. But unfortunately, Spider has to. He goes, I gotta piss so bad, dude. Please let me piss. Oh, I'm gonna piss my pants right now. Oh, please. And while he's doing that, what's his name? Jake Sully is like,
gonna cut his head off.
Spoiler, I have to kill you now. I have to kill you. And he's like, oh, man, that sucks, dude. Shit. Okay, fine.
He never pisses.
No, yeah. And then it's a huge thing. People have asked Jim about this since. They go, does Spider ever get to piss? Because it's a long scene in that forest.
I told you that's always a big thing for me on TV or movies when someone says they have to piss.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
The second they say they have to piss, I'm waiting to see how long it's taking them to get to piss, because when I say I have to piss, it's like the clock is ticking.
Of course, we know that as the creators of Certified Turtle Piss Break, we know we have to get the hell out. When we say that, it's like get us out of here. 5 seconds. So yes, it's like he started a ticking time clock and he didn't resolve it at all. Spider never. I don't think he ever gets to piss. So I agree with you about that. And I want to say really quickly before you tell me more shit that you didn't like, I want to ask, did you like Varang?
Is that the Una Chaplin?
Yes.
She was cool.
Yeah. I mean, that is the selling point of Fire and Ash. This new character that they introduced. The fact that there are Na'vi that like chaos and destruction and killing and murder, and there's this sort of rogue group of people that felt like they were spurned by God, and now they create chaos, and that the military guy, whatever the hell his name is, I forget. Quaritch, he falls in love with Varang. That was, people were, I pick, I swear you couldn't keep people in their seats. They were hooting and hollering, yelling at the top of their lungs. Him having this sort of reverse arc that Jake Sully had in the first one is so cool from a storytelling perspective.
He comes out of that tent covered in ash.
Oh my God, it was so fucking awesome when that happened in theaters. All right, I want to say my main, what I didn't enjoy about Fire and Ash really quickly. We got to get the hell out of here. Is that Big Jim saying, this could be the final film. If I don't make enough money, this is a perfect trilogy and I'm done. 4 and 5 don't even need to happen. I go, what the hell are you talking about when I saw? This is major spoilers. People are going 45 seconds. Keep going forward. He said it ends on the kind of the worst cliffhanger of any franchise, where Varang gets scared and runs away into smoke, and you have no idea what happened to it and happened to her. And then Quaritch just jumps off a building and he's just falling endlessly. It's like, you have to at least like have Varang fly in on a big bird and catch him, so at least we know that they like made it out safely. It was such a weird ending for what was seemingly a trilogy.
Did you notice? I wouldn't normally joke about this, but the fact that I think this is what it was for was in the credits, there was like, if anyone you know has thoughts of suicide. And I'm like, I think it's because he lets go off the cliff.
Wait, it's because Quaritch does that?
Is there any other part of the movie that would make you think that?
No, but I didn't see that in the end credits. Oh, I had no idea that it was talking about that.
And I'm like, no, it wasn't. He wasn't suicidal. We needed to not be sure if he was dead so they could put him in the next movie.
I thought he trusted fate, that he'd make it either on a big flying dinosaur or he would make it into branches of trees. Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about that. So overall, it was a little messier. Messier.
I do want to use the slur pink skin moving forward, or course. Pink ass. I was disturbed by Spider's little rat tail that he grew. That was sick.
You mean sick, like,
nasty.
Yeah, when he gets well, for people who have watched Fire and Ash, just so we have the proper record, Kiri is able to, once he dies and he stops breathing, Kiri is able to make a huge, beautiful fungus. What's their god called? She's able to call upon Iway and get this fungus that goes into his lungs.
I'm good with the whole air thing.
Yeah, it was cool. And then Spider doesn't need to wear his mask anymore. I think you truly, it's such a fantasy series in a way, of like such a unique new fantasy series, that you kind of just have to let this shit wash.
They just pull the solutions out of thin air. They're like, no, actually, they're not dead. They're an avatar now. No, actually, he didn't choke because he's human. The earth like made him breathe. It's like, don't worry about it.
Stuff like that. But he is this new, let's just say this in Spider's defense, he is a new sort of species. He's a combination human Na'vi that Jake Sully was not able to be. He is actually sort of birthed as this new being, which is very interesting.
He's having a potentially sexual relationship with his kind of stepsister, who is a like surrogate, like virgin child of Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. Well, their romance is, she's not really his stepsister. They've been in love for a long time. I mean, and there is definitely major chemistry between Kiri and Spider.
Sparks are flying.
Yeah, and so we can't wait. I mean, we have to assume, I haven't even seen the box office numbers, but I assume for at least 4 has to happen. You can't end
Yeah.
the Avatar franchise like this, James Cameron. That would be absolutely ridiculous.
Let's see. How's it doing? Box Office Mojo. Wow. Whoa. Internationally, it's already at,
No way.
worldwide, $1.2 billion.
Oh my God. He was so worried for nothing. Like, you didn't even need to make that threat. Like, everyone wanted to see Fire and Ash. So, I mean, I don't know what is considered a win because these movies are so expensive, but I have to imagine crossing the billion mark. The budget's $400 million, you know. So I think we secured Avatar, whatever the next one is called, Seed Bearer or something. Well, good.
Great.
I'm glad you saw it. I'm glad you saw it in theaters. Did you see it in 3D?
Yes. Which, I mean, I hate wearing those fucking glasses,
Yeah.
but I at least trust that it was necessary for this movie specifically. I hate when they upsell, they do certain scenes where they're like, it's 3D. And then if you take your glasses off throughout the movie, most of it isn't. And you're like,
yeah.
what a fucking waste.
Yeah,
So.
I did that. I was at iPic, and I hate to slander them, but the 3D glasses were so shitty. I was really having to take them off for 10-minute breaks, and I was like, I missed Varang flying on that big vine and jumping around. I was like, that would have been so cool in 3D, but these glasses are pinching my nose and scraping my nose. But anyway, but this is, I just give Avatar so much credit for creating this alternate universe of a franchise that people keep thinking is like horrible and that has no pop culture legacy or whatever. And it's seriously, when you're in it, it's just one of the coolest things you could ever be watching. It's just so strange.
Yeah, Spider calls somebody a butthole at one point.
Totally. He says,
and he
stuff
also
like
calls someone bandejo. Like Jim is so like 80s coded and like 90s coded, and he's like a shaka bra. So it's funny that in his dialogue is just so bad.
Well, of course, Spider is very reminiscent of the character in Terminator 2. I forget how the hell do I not remember that character's name? It's one of my favorite films of all time. But I think he wanted another little brash teenager, and I forget that actor's name. Not a good anecdote if you can't remember
Brad
anybody's.
Renfro?
Or Edward
Furlong.
Really, they say that they were editing out his bad takes and stuff, but Edward Furlong is one of the best child performances I've ever seen in my life. He's so great in T2, and I think James Cameron is trying to replicate that teenage rebel and Spider. I don't know what happened, but but I don't know. Maybe Spider will become a better actor in the fourth one.
Not friggin' likely, but
really?
Anyways.
You think once you're labeled a bad actor, you can never get around it?
Well, also they're gonna have to start. They had to mocap his image because he's getting too old.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to act for his human young avatar.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like extra weird. I
really do wonder. That is a real question. We got to get the hell off this shit pretty soon. But I do wonder if it's irredeemable. If you're acting, if you start out as a horrible actor, and even if you go to do the Meisner technique and you do Stella Adler and you spend weeks downloading master classes, is there any way that you can surmount acting skills? I say my only case to prove that you can is that I don't think Brad Pitt is an amazing actor, especially at the start of his career. He was pretty horrendous. Like, anytime you ask him to do heavy lifting acting wise, he's very bad. But he sort of created a way that where he's utilized properly. Food. He figured out you can eat a lot, so you don't have to maybe talk in scenes. You could be eating a big thing of spaghetti or whatever he does in Ocean's 11. But also, like, Quentin Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood kind of knew that he needed to be this sort of
silent type.
Yeah, and he's great at physical acting, obviously. But I just wonder if, maybe if you can't become a better actor, directors figure out how to work with you at a certain point.
Right. Yeah. Prayers for Spider, whatever that actor's name is. All right. Do we want to pick what's the hottest news item that we had since we spent 24 minutes on Avatar?
The hottest news. Okay. The hottest news. One Bravo news. One Bravo news story after all of them. Okay, let's just say quickly. We'll just do two really quickly. Katie Ginella left OC. That's not a big shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
No.
not even like, I mean, on the shocked scale when you saw that, when I sent you that
On the Richter, it's like
It-
a 1.
it did, and she and then I appreciated though, she said I was fired
Mhm.
big time.
Yeah, she
goes,
admitted it.
In which 95% of the press releases that come out say, I am leaving to focus on my family and my big business ventures. Katie said, hey, you know what happened. You saw it. That was rough. And she's off. So goodbye, Katie. That was it was almost impossible for her to be able to come back for season 3 after what happened on her second season.
Yeah. She was like, the producers have decided to move forward without me. I think she said that did she say she was disappointed, or that, I don't know. What did
she
say?
said? This sucks. She said this sucks. She goes, I got fired. I don't know. It was very refreshing. I don't have it pulled up. It was pretty refreshingly honest. It was like, this really sucks. I can't believe this, but if you saw me last season, you get it, because that was pretty horrible. She
Queens of Bravo was disappointed.
We're both looking at the same news source. Yeah, it was pretty, it was matter of fact. It was to the point. And, and we'll say goodbye to Katie. I think that, what can we say? Everyone watched OC, and we know why this decision was made. Lastly, this is it. Lastly, and I'll get us out of news. I want to say that this was interesting to me, that I saw on realityt.com that Paige DeSorbo on Giggly Squad made the first mention out loud of the name Joe on Giggly Squad, which is, I assume, that Joe D'Amelio person. She said something like, I was hanging out with Dez and then Joe was there, and people were shocked, because I think this is the first time she's ever said that name. And I thought it was interesting just because it sort of now cements the timeline that everyone knew that Paige was dating, I think, that guy Joe maybe 3 or 4 weeks after her and Craig broke up, and it never, I think she kind of got us off the scent for a while, but now it's like, oh, it's been enough time. I think I can finally say it, because it's going to get hard to hide it as the years go on. So I just thought it was kind of a way to sort of, I guess now that the timeline that everyone was speculating about is real and true. And it was,
I mean, weren't they spotted in Europe like right after the breakup? Like, those cyber sleuths were comparing outfits and all of that. So I don't know. Do you think Craig will run with this as new evidence, or he already knows?
Well, I just think that I just think that Paige so clearly won the internet over that thing, like she did. And I love Paige, more, like, she's one of my favorite Bravo celebrities of all time. But I do think that we were like so team Paige culturally, that like when you're Craig and you're thinking about it, and you saw 2 weeks later after that kind of messy breakup, not really matter of fact breakup, you are kind of like, man, that really sucks. And it was all true. And the timeline was. And then it made me wonder if the season 10 of Summer House, if she made that decision, she goes, I wouldn't be able to live authentically my real life this summer. I wonder if she thought it was too soon to be in an active relationship at that point, maybe a 6-month relationship with someone that she's been consistently dating, and not have it outed for her in the house by either another cast member, or knowing that she was purposefully not showing it because she didn't want to make herself look bad, or have people go Team Craig all of a sudden if she introduced Joe to the house. So I wonder if that had any, I didn't even think of that as a possibility of why she might not have returned to Summer House. So
Right. Yeah. I also saw that she's still getting support from her Summer House gang, because sometime in the last 24 hours, Kyle Cook posted a meme making fun of ChatGPT, and his caption was, imagine using ChatGPT as your therapist. So Craig catching more strays this week. It's kind of him making it clear that he does use ChatGPT as his therapist. I think went like micro viral a little bit on TikTok. And
Kyle
stuff, 'cause everyone's
probably
like, "Heh."
yeah, totally. Kyle probably just offended, though, a lot of people that are getting therapy from ChatGPT, which I don't know if he thought about the uproar from that. You know what I mean?
Did you see that he forgot his passport when he was going to Canada the other day?
No.
I followed this whole saga on TikTok or Instagram, he is DJing, as you know, on his tour, the
Mm-hmm.
Let Him Cook World Tour or whatever. And he got to all the way to the gate, like to board the plane, and he didn't have his passport.
Whoa.
And they wouldn't let him on. Like no one checked it up until the gate. And so he had to go all the way home and get it. And then he had to find, there was like one other flight that he said that he essentially was doing the show for free because of how much he had to pay for the flight. And I'm just like, where is Amanda?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think they're waiting until either Summer House this season or Summer in the City announces itself or comes out, and then they're waiting to do that because they can't keep this up for much longer. It doesn't seem good between them, and so that's a huge thing that's going to come out, I think, pretty soon, probably. Or they want it to naturally happen on the season because things get so bad for them, and then they're finally gonna. I just think that they're waiting to tie it into some Summer House property before they announce it.
Yeah, and I can't wait. I know we're gonna do like a Potomac minute just because we've skipped it for a few weeks. Leading into that, there was a reunion seating chart released, which I don't care so much about it, but they had Karen first chair, which I have to assume she's just going to do a pop-in or maybe be there at the beginning, talk about her prison stay, etc., how she's doing, and then she'll leave, and then they'll move on, and everyone will move down.
Yes, I think so. I think because we know that Andy Cohen is going to have that exclusive interview at the end of the season too, right? So it's probably going to be like, hey, we're pushing Karen again, because I think that they probably feel like even though Karen, like they would have had Karen on this season had it not been for the fact that they physically could not have her. So I think it's to kind of just show that we're re-embracing Karen. We're a part of the rehabilitation tour for her. And also I think it's going to yield ratings results for people who have been off on Potomac this season. Now they're going to be like, oh, we have a reason to watch the reunion. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody. But I don't, like you said, I don't know how long she's actually going to participate. But obviously it made me more enticed to watch the reunion.
Yeah, I actually just forgot until you said it that Andy's doing that little sit down, which feels like old times. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it does. Well, just to talk, you and I, we've been I've been horrible. I've been horrible about Potomac because of the holidays, and we're starting to get too backlogged. And it's not really a sign of quality as to why Potomac has been put on the back burner. It's just that we are covering, I think, 4 shows actively now. But I have to say that this week's Potomac was so funny and made me wish that we hadn't lost a step because I was having the time of my life. The main plot that is happening is that after Angel was evicted from her Airbnb that she rented out for 2 months and then filming was extended. So there's this whole like kind of fake controversy about whether or not she's been evicted. The producers decided that it'd be fun to show Angel's real life in Colorado. And then Angel is now hosting a huge sort of logistical nightmare of a trip as a first-time cast member. And you're really watching like how sort of hard it is probably for someone to manage something like this and how possibly spur of the moment this whole thing was, because Angel has her sort of the people that she loves the most, which are Tia and Kay, living with her at her house, and then the rest of the cast has to be in an Airbnb that is an hour and 15 minutes away from her, but they're still trying to make it seem like this is a cohesive trip where people can spend as much time to each other, but they're not accounting for the fact that people are taking like 3-hour round trips a day to be able to meet back up with each other. So kind of the worst thing that Angel could have done for the people that were already skeptical of her.
Yeah, it's a mess. She's floundering on every level. Monique sort of breaks the fourth wall at one point, is like, I know how much work it is to plan trips. And they showed she herself hosted 2 trips over the years. And she's like, I took that shit very seriously because my name was on it. And she goes, production pays for certain things, but you have to take care of a lot of it. And I was like, has anyone said that before on camera? I know they've said it in like podcasts and stuff, but have they on camera said production pays for X for a trip?
I don't think so. I think it was new. I think it was a wonderful fourth wall break for Bravo to make on their own, for Monique to say that, because it was enlightening. I mean, it was like, if your name is going to be on it, some people take pride in that, and they want to make sure that the activities and stuff are reflective and fun enough to where it looks like they hosted a good trip, despite it being production managed and them all paying for everything. So I like that moment a lot. I think Monique is great this season so far. I think
she's a strong friend of, because her presence is known and she's not afraid to interject. I feel like she'll potentially get brought on.
I think so too.
Yeah.
She's also doing this great thing where I think she's just extremely confident, and also I think that she's just loving being back. So she's finding everything sort of like funny, and like when Giselle says something, she's just like, "Oh my God, Giselle, this is so crazy!" Like she's almost has that audience look of just like participating in a world that you love, and I feel that from Monique. But then she's also bringing some, I think, legitimate conflict by talking about Angel and Bobby's relationship like she does. She's seeing these little signs from Angel that Bobby and her relationship might be a little bit on the rocks. So there's not like heavy lifting on both parts. And so she's bringing it up, I feel like, very organically, like not like I'm trying to create conflict and stir shit up. I feel like it's actually coming from her heart. But Angel has already been poked so many times by the other cast members about catfishing and all this kind of shit that she has no tolerance for Monique doing this. So it seems like it's going to come to a head, but it feels very organically inspired by Monique's real feelings, which I liked.
Yes. There's one point where they're like, let's all have a pajama party. You girls that are staying at Angel's house, come stay at our house and we'll all be together. And Angel's like, I'm going to have to check with Bobby because then he'll have to put all the kids down to like himself for bed. And Monique is like, who cares? That's something a dad should do. That's not a big deal. And she's like, don't even fucking go there with me. And you're like, oh Lord.
Yeah, she puts her hand up like, do not speak of my relationship. And then she does say at the end of the episode, she goes, if she's getting into my relationship, I'm going to crash out. And it's like her tolerance now is so low for the cast members doing stuff. And then there's some funny logistical stuff that comes up from Angel not booking an Airbnb close to her, that also it just so happens that the Airbnb they're staying at has no running water for the entire time. And even people who are being breezy and who are friends of Angel cannot stand this house. There's no running water. They can't rely on it at all. They've had multiple times trying to fix it. So Giselle is almost leading a revolt against Angel by being like, I am going to book a place for us closer to you because we cannot stand having to travel like this. And she calls her Airbnb whack right to Angel's face, which was kind of shocking.
Yeah, she's like, the house is whack. They think it's scary how remote it is. It's like, not only do they have to drive an hour and a half away from her house, but when they get there, there's no running water. There's some weird, I don't know if it's like an eco-friendly system where it only works at certain times or something. They had to, I guess the chef ended up figuring out how to turn it on, but it was already too late. They're like, we're booking a fucking hotel. And then apparently next week they are taking a private jet to Kimosabi in Aspen, and that's where they run into Mauricio, which I'm like, likely place for him to be.
Totally. He loves Kimosabi, as we know. So I guess I just want to give a ringing endorsement of this trip. It's just kind of, it's just, I guess it's, you know, it's what trips are all about when they can, when real friction is created from them. And they already have Angel as sort of a foil, and now everyone is doubling down. And it's actually endearing Stacey to Ashley and Giselle, for good or bad. You know, I don't really love when they pick a new target and then that endears them to someone. But it's just like the heat is off Stacey for a while because everyone just could not believe what the hell Angel is doing. She also had this sort of unprecedented event where when she brought them to her house, she goes, by the way, you know, this is the board member for this wonderful group here. And there's this person that's just sitting down and they don't even wave. She has this sort of like full fireside chat of these like powerful people in Colorado, but there's no point to it because they don't introduce themselves.
They're smoking cigars, sitting in silence. And she goes, this guy is a high-powered money manager. I'm talking like billions. And they just sit there staring and they're all like, the fuck is this? It's giving Get Out. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense. It was clearly for Angel to show like how much of a mover and shaker she is in Colorado, but it was not handled very well, and that goes for almost everything that Angel is doing in this time. So it was funny.
They're just picking apart every single thing she does. They're like, how many bedrooms do you have? Why can't we stay there?
Yeah.
Why isn't Bobby helping you with the kids? Why do you have to ask him? Our place is a shithole. Why did you pick this? Like, they're just she's like, it's high season, so there's not stuff. They're all on their phones looking at Airbnbs. They're like, there's so many choices. Why did you choose this one? I'm like, this is horrendous. I'd be like, I quit. Like, actually, just let me leave.
Yeah. So yeah, it was great. It's kind of, if this keeps going, it's obviously gonna be a good end to the season. So maybe we can pick back up next week and like be a part of the finale and the Karen era. Yes. I was excited, but now let's move forward to a thing called Vanderpump Rules. For people who don't know, this is a new reboot of the show that we all used to love called Vanderpump Rules, featuring an entirely new cast.
Yes.
And this one is called Pulp Fiction, which I got this one right away. I know you did too. Pulp Fiction is a film by Quentin Tarantino, and there's a penis pump that is entered into this season. So Pump is kind of replacing Pulp, and it's a play on that title, Pulp Fiction.
It's true. I also, we talked about this on the side, but Jennifer Lawrence gave a huge blow when she said on the Golden Globes red carpet that they lost her with the new cast on Vanderpump Rules. And I'm like, Lisa's going to be so upset.
Oh. I that's what I thought. Lisa just opened the newspaper and screamed. Like, that is the worst thing you could
fell
ever
to her
hear.
knees.
Yeah, she fell to her knees. And bravo, like Jennifer Lawrence is the go-to celebrity that loves Bravo so much and will watch anything. They got that news that hit them like a brick at Bravo headquarters that she just said, "I'm off it." Like, that's rough. I mean, I don't know what to say.
They're gonna hide that clip. It's gonna be shadow banned.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I'll just say, we talked about it on Instagram, but Shane Davis ran into Jax at the gym, so he does live.
Yes. You and I were worried. I think it was off mic. I don't know where the hell we said this, but Megan whispered in my ear. She goes, "No one has seen Jax in months." And I go, "My God, what the hell are you talking about? I know he's been quiet and I haven't seen him, but what do you mean?" And apparently his Instagram is deactivated. There's no Mr. Jax Taylor anymore, which that's already kind of shocking in its own right. And in the mind of Jax, hasn't had a new episode since October 2nd. So there's really no outlet to see Jax right now on the internet, but Shane Davis gave us proof of life. I didn't think that the worst had happened, but it was just remarkable that I hadn't seen nor heard from Jax in a very long time. I don't really usually go that long without hearing from Jax.
It's true. Yeah, the caption was sober activities with Mr. Jax Taylor, so I guess they talked about that. So, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, this episode of Vanderpump Rules, I gotta say, your philosophy of treating this like it's just a different show and not thinking about it like Vanderpump Rules, I do think that there was some really fun stuff in this episode. I think the cast really was able to shine in ways that I wasn't expecting. I would say probably Shane Davis for the most part. This is sort of his episode to show us his life and what the hell he's doing. And if you like the original premise of Vanderpump Rules about struggling actors and singers and how they're scraping by to get to the top, Shane Davis kind of gives you that, maybe the most accurate version I've ever seen, including Vanderpump Rules, by having this Formosa Film Festival that we get a peek at. This is the kind of shit that my friends do. Like, this is a real representation of people who in Hollywood who make short films and they submit them and they go and their friends support them. Like, this is what I think Vanderpump Rules, the original inspiration was going to be, and we got it in this episode.
It's true. Yeah. We didn't get enough of a taste of his film. I want to know more. We probably could have. I'm sure it's on Vimeo or something. I could have probably watched it, but I like that he's really trying.
Me too. I really, like it wasn't that bad. Like I need the context of obviously the film, but I felt like his acting was decent. It was what I would expect with him in a film, and I do want to see more. But I think what felt different about Vanderpump Rules pre this reboot is that I felt like there would have been a lot more making fun and poking fun and more of an edit of being like, can you believe how much this sucks? Because I feel like when we saw Lala in clips or Sandoval in clips, it's like, this shit sucks. Let's laugh at them. And with Shane Davis, it was like, my God, they were like, we are so proud of him for getting out there and showing this. Like, it was like almost, I don't know if it's a generational thing or just how this cast is being treated, that we're not like making fun of them as much. Did you notice that sort of difference a little bit?
Yeah, it wasn't really played for laughs. Maybe they're being sympathetic to the industry. They're like, let's support up and coming filmmakers. We need a new generation.
I think so. I think so too. So let's get into it. We're gonna rip through this thing because it's only a couple of scenes that we don't need to we don't need to fine tooth comb this thing. But Lisa's got another reason to get a bunch of people to do stuff in the same room. She's having a merch photo shoot in addition to a photo shoot for what we just saw, which is like it's like photos for the calendar.
Right. Yeah, she had already done the quintessential SUR photo shoot, and now they need to shoot their merch, including some chef what do you call those aprons that say "Shag the Chef."
Yeah, I'm a huge merch head. I wish I know Lisa likes this stuff, but can I just be honest? Some of this stuff was not good merch. Like,
yeah,
I love the idea of screaming from the rooftop saying I like pumptinis, but I don't even think I would wear that one that said I've had too many pumptinis.
They could really open the aperture on the ideas. It's pretty basic shit. I wonder how well it sells. I mean, the only merch I've ever bought from SUR is the hat. Peter himself opened the cabinet for me. He wasn't very nice. I've said this before.
Peter wasn't nice to you? No, I don't remember you saying that.
I went at a very off time. It wasn't busy. It was like 4 p.m. on a weekday or something. And I was like, hey, because I was going to like a weekend party and I wanted a SUR hat for it in like 2016 or something. And I was like, hey, can I buy some merch? And he was like, all right.
No way.
Like, he was like, it was the biggest imposition. And I'm like, okay, well, what else are you doing right now? Like, give me my fucking hat for $40.
Peter. Oh my God, I can't believe he acted that way. I mean, my thoughts on Peter. I say it all the time. I thought what he did to the old Vanderpump Rules cast was disgraceful. And I don't really understand why he was so happy about this new iteration. He's not featured. He's been featured for like 1 minute. I thought he was going to be the main cast member on the show. And that's why he was talking shit about the previous generation. Like, you're not even on it. So why are you so happy?
He's never even the manager. It's like he's really out. So this photo shoot devolves into Lisa telling us that all of the kids from SUR were partying at Tom Tom the night before and they were fucking up her decor. A frame got ripped from the wall. They featured Ariana's best friend Logan, who still works there apparently, narking them out, saying, all the SUR kids came in, they were making a scene, they were fighting, they were fucking shit up. And of course, Lisa does not like that.
How were they allowed to do that? They were allowed to dance on tables and at Tom Tom and scream and rip mirrors off. Speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio's favorite book, it looked like Lord of the Flies for a second. Like, they were ripping shit down. I guess, was it after hours and they were allowed to drink and have fun in there, or they were just maybe trying to make Tom Tom seem like it was a fun, vibrant place?
Yeah, they yet again used security cam footage. Lisa accosts Audrey about it, and Audrey does admit that the one who ripped the frame off the wall was her friend, which I was like, why'd you even tell her that?
I know it took everything in Audrey to admit the truth. That was her friend. And then Lisa goes, well, I don't give a shit if it wasn't one of you. We'll get that fixed. But then who were the staff members that were screaming at the top of their lungs? And Audrey said that was Demi and Natalie. And we see iPhone footage, which I was grateful for, of Demi being like, get the fuck away from me, Natalie. I hate you. It's so funny. Like, Demi hates Natalie. And Natalie is really, from being the star, I was labeling her the star at the start of this run. I feel like she's gone way into the background the last 3 episodes. She's being overtaken by Angelica and Audrey. I'm like, Natalie, I don't know. I mean, it's your first season. You better do some stuff. Like,
buck up.
You know what I mean? And then, oh my God. Okay. The next, Angelica comes in. Oh, right. Angelica comes in and, she tells Marcus that she just got x-rays on her back. And she says that she gets very upset and she's almost crying because she says, every time I stand up, I get an electric tingle shooting up my back, which Marcus then says something. He goes, what a shitty date. Could you imagine going on a date with someone you like and they're slamming your ass at a dojo? And I thought that was like kind of funny just because I do think it's like so horrible what Jason was doing.
Yeah, he doesn't seem that sorry about it. Also, because Chris gets pissed about that, but the first thing you see Chris say when Lisa walks in, he goes, hey, Mama Pump, looking hot in purple. And she's like, ugh, that's not going to fly.
Yeah, she says, you basically can see with her eyes that she doesn't want to be called Mama Pump ever again. These boys in their mommy stuff, like they're going nuts.
It's
and then
weird.
Yeah, I don't, they just, remember when they were doing that OnlyFans on Mother's Day? First of all, they had Mother's Day on the brain, but also I think they both said they haven't seen their moms in 8 months or whatever. So I think that they're looking for some maternal love in either girlfriends or in Lisa. But then Chris goes, hey, I hear Angelica talking about her back. Can you imagine a bigger liar? And the Oscar goes to Angelica for worst fake back injury. And I just keep thinking, like, I saw the footage. Jason was spinning her around in circles and did a pile driver on her head in the ground. It was crazy. Chris, why would you say this is faking an injury when you haven't watched what we saw? He was going nuts with her. And then so he's kind of, he's internally thinking about that he heard Angelica talking shit about Jason. And then Lisa goes, what's going on with you and Jason or something? And she goes, I got the ick majorly from that guy. I'm repulsed by him. And she goes,
she frames it so like really makes the worst case to Lisa. She goes, I did jujitsu with Jason and I got really hurt. He slammed me into the ground like 12 times. He broke my back and I broke his heart. And Lisa's like, what?
Yeah, she can't believe what she's hearing. She goes, I'm so repulsed. Have you ever gotten the ick at a dojo with someone? And Lisa goes, not really. And she goes, well, I'm repulsed. And she goes, he's got an OnlyFans. And then guess what? He's got a huge penis pump. And Lisa's like, penis pump? She goes, in your 20s, I thought you're trying to get your penis smaller.
She goes, you need something to make it go down, not up.
Yeah, she can't believe this penis pump stuff. It's like the last time she heard about it was probably Austin Powers 1, and then now penis pumps are being brought up. And I don't even know, I thought penis pumps, well, we don't have to talk about it, but I guess we should, but I thought it was just to make your penis appear bigger. I didn't know it was to help you get aroused, because at one point they start to say you need it for erectile dysfunction.
Well, it's just like, sorry, graphic, but it fills it with blood.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Which is what the definition of an erection is, right?
I guess I'm exposing my ignorance. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. I don't want to get. I guess I don't want to get too detailed. We'll talk about it maybe on Patreon. But no, I didn't know. I didn't know it was used. Yeah. I didn't know it was used to get from point A to point B. I thought it was to make it appear larger.
I did kind of enjoy it's a little bit later, but Shane is sort of educating us and kind of calling her ableist for making fun of this thing that he apparently needs because of his gunshot wounds. He says with confidence, which I appreciate, that he's so confident in his looks and his prowess and getting girls that he's like, I have ED, like I use that shit. He's like, I use Viagra every time I have sex. Like, who cares?
He
I
goes,
was like,
"This is my
I
life."
love that he is like that.
Me too. He didn't have to say it. And he said it. It was awesome. He goes, "This is my life. I would never talk about it like that." So yeah, he's saying that Angelica shouldn't be talking about erectile dysfunction like this.
Yeah. Okay, so, but she really is making her thing. When they pose for a photo, she goes, say penis pump on 3.
Yeah.
And Audrey's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, at first she's laughing about it, but then as everyone else is getting more pissed off about it, she's like, don't put this on me. I told her in confidence just as like a gag, but now she's telling Lisa, she's bringing it up to everybody, and now it's a real problem. Chris is fired up. Him and Angelica get into it about her injury. He's like, you were fine when you were dancing last night. And he calls her a fake bitch.
Oh my, I couldn't believe it. Fake bitch right to her face. He can't stand that his cousin Jason is being disparaged in that room. He thinks it's fake and it's horrible. And also Angelica throws Audrey under the bus when Chris is being like, stop saying penis pump. It's really weird to say that over and over again. She's like, your girl told me that. I was like, damn, wow. Audrey's going to be so pissed at you. You're weaponizing information exactly like she said that she told you in confidence to be fun. Even though it's on the show, it really was supposed to be just a moment of levity between them. And then now Angelica can't stop saying penis pump over and over again to anyone who will listen. And then we go to Sir. This doesn't really need to be talked about. Lisa goes, why the hell were you fighting Demi and Natalie? And Demi's like, I can't stand Natalie anymore. I don't want to be friends with her. I hear her horrible
She's been
voice.
pissing me off for weeks now.
Yeah, she's like, I hear her horrible voice in my sleep. And like, they don't even like talk, like they don't even show Natalie anymore. She's just like, I want to be your friend. It's like, well, she doesn't want to be your friend. And then Marcus and Kim. This little through line throughout the episode was really interesting to me. Marcus and Kim recommitted to each other. They said, it's been 10 months. How about another 10 months or 10 years? And Kim goes, you just said the magic words. I love you, baby. Like, I love you forever. Like, this is, right. They're back on, Kim and Marcus, fully.
Yes, it does not go well by the end of the episode, but
no.
We do, which I kind of enjoyed that check-in because we were saying last week, we were like, are they even together? What the hell is going on? So I was like, all right, they are aware that it's a weird situation. And then there's more, there's a conversation between Angelica and Jason where she's like, my back is like way more fucked up than you think. You don't seem concerned enough. And he's like, can we talk about this later though? Like, I have to check on my tables. And she's like, never mind.
Yeah. So it's a bad conversation. They both end angry because he goes, I said sorry yesterday for hurting your back and causing you to go get x-rays. I gotta say this. I don't think that Jason is dealing with this properly in any way. I think he's so mortified that he did this, that he can't cast blame on himself because it would kill him inside to admit that he hurt someone on a date, throwing her around like that. I do think that if you did this to someone on a date,
if this happened to you, you would walk into the sea.
I would be, I don't even want to say it. I'm gone. You don't see me anymore. But I'm saying let's say it's not the same situation, but like if you hurt someone physically, and you knew that there was some probably evidence. You weren't like Chris denying that this is an actual injury. I swear I am participating in this rehabilitation journey. I really am. Yeah. Like I'm at least saying, is that
can I take you to your appointment?
Is that covered by by your insurance? Like, do I need to pay for the MRIs? Like the fact that Jason is like, I said sorry yesterday. You will get no more from me after I was spinning you around like that is really awful. And to give him the benefit of the doubt, which I don't want to give him any. It's just that I think that this is too much for him to believe on camera. It's shocking to the point where he can't even deal with it. And Angelica is not letting it go. She's like, you might have permanently hurt me. It's scary. It's awful. Like it's just so crazy that this is part of the plot of this season. You know, we don't see stuff like that every day.
She's actually a little more diabolical than I anticipated.
Yes, I agree with
she's playing the game, so I'm entertained at least.
I think I think she's entering into potentially villain territory in a fun reality television way. I think some of the things she's doing, I'm like, what the hell is going on, Angelica?
Yeah, in a sweet package.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go to Shane's short film. It's called Deep Clean. And I've never heard of the Formosa Film Festival, but it does appear to be at the Formosa Cafe
Yeah.
again, by our old stomping ground.
Yeah, this was awesome. This is so cool. I mean, really, this is real. This happens every night in Los Angeles. I swear, you're either going to El Cid or you're going to Formosa Film Festival, and you're doing stuff like this. It's an outlet for you to be able to show your work, and I really like this. I felt very representative of a lot of people's trajectories in Los Angeles. There's one moment like right before that I thought was a good sort of like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon coming to LA for the first time moment, where Marcus was going to leave LA. And Shane goes, "You remember what I told you? Do you remember when I said you were about to leave LA?" And Marcus remembers verbatim. He's like, "You took me and you pointed to a billboard and you said, you don't want to look up there one day and see me up there without you." I was like, holy shit. Like the amount of times that has probably been said
Jake
in LA.
Kelly vibes.
Absolutely. And the shocking part to me is that they probably could go on Ventura Boulevard right now and they probably would have seen a billboard that they could have pointed up to and looked at themselves and have Marcus and Shane on the same billboard. It's like the dream actually happened. And if Marcus would have left and ignored Shane's advice, like that is a huge story. Like that is an LA story, no matter where it ultimately leads.
I know. I always think about how, to me, I see billboards and I think of them in a probably more inside baseball way than a lot of people, thinking, like, wow, they're spending a lot on that, or like, what the hell is that actor thinking doing that movie or whatever. But people that are actually actors or writers or directors, whatever, are haunted all across town by their failures, their community's wins that they're not a part of. Like it's just these big messages saying like, this isn't you, like you'll never win.
Yeah, no, absolutely for that. Yeah. I was getting in the mindset of being those struggling actors, and them actually getting their dream. I don't even know if there were billboards for Vanderpump Rules, but it's quite possible.
I think there were.
Yeah, like I think it's possible that they actually did look up and see their dreams realized. So that's its own sort of interesting story. And then also, just as a through line throughout this episode, Shane gives us a major download of his previous drug addiction and his relationship with his family. So his his dad and his sister are actually coming into town for the Formosa Film Festival and presumably to also be a part of filming his reality show that he's on. Yeah. But they're coming here. But he says that his relationship has been horrible with his parents because they were drug users together. They would do drugs. He was drinking when he was 5. They did meth. His family, he said, they love drugs. And so when he finally decided to get sober for his own well-being, his relationship with his parents died because they weren't in the same place anymore.
Right. Yeah, that was brutal. I also like that he shouted out that he almost relapsed on kratom because that's like this weird loophole that's happening in America where you can just buy it at the gas station or there's like kratom bars and stuff, but it's like a really problematic, addictive substance that people have to go to rehab for. And so I'm glad that he was like,
Me too.
I'm glad that he didn't take it. And he went through his sobriety journey. He says he's been sober 2.5 years, 10 off of alcohol, 12 off of meth and fentanyl, 2.5 off of weed, Adderall, mushrooms, DMT, and ketamine. And he said his family were the first to introduce him to crack cocaine and meth, and that he realized he had a problem when he was digging through the carpet looking for little crumbs of crack. And I'm like, that's so interesting that his relationship could even survive with them, because I'd be like, die.
He has such a wonderful positive outlook towards his family after going through this, and he's like, it's like he's been through fucking hell and he knows that all he can do is just like, he can't change his dad, that he just loves him. I mean, it's a really interesting dynamic. Like, I mean, I can imagine why they cast Shane Davis immediately for just this story alone, for us to go through this journey with him, and the fact that he's able to have this relationship where his dad shows up to the premiere and his family is there to support him, in this next scene coming up.
Was he talking about this most recent trip when he was like, yeah, my dad showed up, I picked him up at the airport, he was trashed?
Yeah, this trip. He's like,
and I'm like, That's like fucked up. Like that's sad.
I know. Yeah, but he's like, yeah, I feel like Shane Davis is at the mind exploding meme, the final, fifth galaxy brain level where he knows what he needs to do. I mean, it seems like he's been through everything. Like he is so sensitive to what he needs to do. He was like, I relapsed from kratom last time. Like he already knows his relationship to that. He knows what leads it. And he also told Marcus, he was like, I am doing this because I am a bad person. I am incapable of being a good person when I am on drugs. So I feel like he, for some way, he got to the point where he knows the exact type of relationship he should have with his family and what he can expect from them and what they can give him. So it leads itself to the actual event, and I thought the Formosa cafe looked beautiful. I was like. This, if you and I did this, like if we made a short film and we got our friends to come here, like it looked like such a cool celebratory event. Them just screening these short films together, and this is what I was saying. The cast is so supportive of Shane Davis in this moment. Besides Natalie, who,
she's not too mean. Not. She goes, I have a BFA in acting, so I'm going to need to see more from him to judge accordingly. Which I forgot that. Or I don't know if we knew that because they focused more on her music before, but it is funny. Like it, I guess I'm trying to think, is the only person from Vanderpump Rules who ever acted again is Ariana by way of Scandival fame. She's now doing these little guest roles on sitcoms and network shows, which is fun, but it's sort of almost a celebrity cameo. It's not like she's like a working actor, she's a host. But I'm like, will any of these people ever actually act?
Well, that's what I was thinking of. This is like I feel like we learned that the passions of the previous cast were completely outweighed by them getting fame by other means, and it wasn't a true passion. It was like a stepping stone towards fame, which is what they all really wanted. I was thinking it'd be really interesting if Chris and Jason or whoever, if one of them did keep pursuing their passion and got that Jay Kelly callback audition that led to something, and they left Vanderpump Rules in the dust. We've never seen anything like that happen before, and it's like it could happen to any of these cast members. Like, you don't know. I do think I mean, but I know what you mean. Like,
yeah. I mean, now there's such cheeky casting. Like in Marty Supreme, there's so many random people in it, like fucking Shark Tank guys in it, and like Noah Baumbach has cast Ryan Serhant. He was on it just like that. And so I'm like, people can who are sort of down to clown with reality TV could give any Vanderpumpers, old or new, a little cameo for fun, which if I were the powers that be, if I was Greta Gerwig or something, I would totally do.
Yeah, absolutely. Give them that shot, for sure. So it's great. They're all watching that. Shane asks his dad, which film did you resonated with you the most? And he goes, yours, my son. Yours was so wonderful. And then they go to celebrate after at Barney's Beanery, which is so cool.
They locked that location. I was kind of surprised. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was like, wow, they're actually filming there.
I was so happy because we already have the Barney's Beanery lore from Jason and Angelica, that the fact that we're like, oh, they do go there. They go there all the time. They love it. And this is where sort of the conflict that had already arisen earlier is now coming back into it. But first, we get a little Marcus and Kim blip. This was incredible to me because I don't think we ever saw when Marcus and Kim's relationship broke down for an actual reason besides the Natalie stuff, which felt too heightened to be real. This was just a weird little peek you get in that you barely even see it on camera. Kim gave the most reasonable hugs I've ever seen in my life to Jason and Chris and Shane. They were like, I mean, it's like, I've seen hugs like this every day of my life. There was nothing passionate or extended or weird about it.
No.
Marcus goes, can you read my lips, baby? And she goes, yeah. What are you going to say? And he goes, I've had enough of those special hugs. You're doing way too many of them. And then he treats her like fucking shit for the rest of this Barney's Beanery trip. He won't look at her and he won't buy her a drink. I was like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
Marcus? That was awful.
Red flag.
Horrible. Jealous
Yeah,
behavior.
it was like scary. And then he's like, well, she gave me shit about how I hugged Natalie, which I'm like, well, that was a whole thing about like you guys texting and like your whole entire relationship. But ultimately, it sounds like they just have a toxic relationship.
And that's how
she
things
runs
work. You do the thing that hurt you.
the tit for tat.
Yeah.
She runs to the bathroom to cry, and Demi checks on her, and they film fully in the bathroom, which I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was the bathroom of Barney's Beanery. This is great. I mean, this is this is the freewheeling energy you capture, you know, when it's not so sanctioned by Lisa in Sir or in Tom Tom. And Demi's pretty cool. Like, she really feels above it all. Like, she doesn't really give a shit. It's like if who is the recipient of Suck a Dick in the original?
Oh, right.
Vanderpump Rules.
The manager.
Yeah. Sorry to ask a question I don't know the answer to, but it really feels like she doesn't give a shit to be on the show, and she's just actually bestowing wisdom down to people that she's seen from on high, that she knows how to like sort of analyze them. And she's like, you guys fight. It's a Tuesday, so they're fighting. You fight like this all the time. Marcus is never going to change. I'm sorry if that offends you, but this is never going to stop happening. And if a little blip in the relationship was caused by those hugs, then that is the truth. This is bad. And she showed her sad little text that she sent him where she's like, I only have eyes for you. Like, I would never be unfaithful. Like, please. And I'm like, that is so depressing. That she's like groveling to him about it. 5 groveling texts. And Demi gives great advice. I mean, it's probably true. This is that was a bad glimpse we saw. He wouldn't even get her a Boo Bear drink. I mean,
right.
Can you believe it? And then finally,
we're backed up.
Yeah. Finally, Angelica and Audrey have a sit down. I think Angelica knows that Audrey has not been happy about this penis pump thing being weaponized. And what was interesting about this scene is that Angelica does not back down at all about weaponizing penis pump against Jason. If anything, she doubles down and blames Audrey for bringing it up to her in the first place and gives all the rationale for why it's legitimate, why she should be using this and telling Lisa Vanderpump that Jason has a penis pump. She doesn't understand it at all. Why it's bad. Yeah. She doesn't care. She's like, they have an OnlyFans. They post that shit all the time. What does it matter if I say? They're the ones that it's public. Like, they don't care. And she's like, okay, but you were telling Lisa at our workplace that, you know, there's a time and place. And she's like, what do you mean time and place? She's like not at work, to our boss. And they get into it about being a girl's girl. Audrey's like, I will never trust her again. It basically, also, Chris is watching on the side. He's like, my girl is holding it down. Yeah. By the end, it's just Audrey's like, we can be cordial, but I don't fuck with you, basically. Yeah, and I totally understood. I was like, that's exactly right for me, Audrey. Like, that felt like the right decision to make. Like, Angelica didn't apologize. She didn't even understand what the hell you're talking about. I would never trust her with shit either. I also like how naturally Audrey is gravitating more to Jason's side because she's dating Chris. I don't think she knew shit about Jason before. I don't know how well she knew him, but now she's kind of like, I see Jason in his house. He's my boyfriend's like best friend and cousin. So now I'm like deferring to him and seeing things through his eyes. I think that's like kind of a new organic relationship forming there too. Yeah, there was a scene earlier where they were at the cousin's apartment and she's like, yeah, sorry I brought up the penis pump in the first place to her. And he's like, I'm glad you did, because she's showing her true colors. She looks like a fool. Yeah, he had an interesting perspective on it. And then we got one little, sad thing that we might have to look forward to. When Jason asked Chris how good Audrey is on the kissing scale, he says, it's pretty good. He goes 7.5, maybe a 7 or a 7.5. He said 7.5 first and then downgraded to a 7. So 7's not great. I mean, yeah, it's like, why say it? It's like, that means something, the fact that he rated it a 7, that it's not the best kissing of his life, I guess. So who knows what that means? It's giving doomed, but it does seem like they will be dating for the season. And then next week, we get a trip. Lisa is hosting a women in wine event in Paso Robles. And so they're all going to wine country. That looks cool. That's great. That's a great way to spice things up. But I liked this episode. Really, I did. I thought it was we got to see Barney's. We got to see the Formosa Film Festival. Huge, detailed background on Shane Davis. And then we got that real-time Marcus and Kim blip in their relationship. So,
Right.
you know, I don't know. Thinking about it as just a different show that I'm watching for the first time is kind of helpful in
Yeah,
a way.
still better than Southern Hospitality by far.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we are going to take a break. We are going to come right back after with Salt Lake City Reunion Part 1.
Yep. And just before we take a certified turtle piss, we have one thing to say. Nene Leakes is returning to Bravo years after Real Housewives of Atlanta exit. That just dropped on TMZ. So we will pick that up right after Amy and I take a huge piss.
Great.
We're back.
We're back.
What about that news that dropped right before certified turtle piss time? It was the Nene Leak stuff. Did you see this?
Yeah, I was slightly disappointed that it wasn't Atlanta Housewives. It was Road Trip, because there had been stirrings about that. But I mean, hey, that's a good first start. I feel like that's the testing ground.
That's what I said. I screamed testing ground because yes, that's exactly what it is. Toe in the water. Let's see how it goes. But it sounds like they're going to be driving a big bus around the town, around cities, and when they get to Atlanta, Nene's going to pop out and say, look at me or whatever.
Bling,
so,
bling, bling.
Yeah, so it's going to be very much like she's going to have a significant presence in the Atlanta portion of this road trip, at least according to TMZ. So that's
Good.
That's huge. And then we'll see where it leads.
That'll get our eyeballs on it. I was going to watch it either way, but that actually makes me want to tune in more than before.
They got both my eyeballs. I was going to give it only one. Really quick, before we start with the Salt Lake City shit, did you see Terry Dubrow ranting at Nobu? Did you see this on TMZ? Oh my God. Oh, they got him. They found him in the corner of Nobu, and they asked him, what does he think about Bradley Cooper's the surgery rumors? And he had a bunch of sushi in his mouth, but he spit it out because he was so pissed. And he said, I don't like anyone talking about this surgery stuff with him. He said, what he does is his own business. He's a wonderful actor and producer, and that's what we should focus on. And he said he's not trying to sell supplements, or he's not a longevity expert, so no one should care about what he does to his face.
Since when?
Yeah, and he's pissed. I mean, he's pissed. I showed the video, and it's like he's like has this huge $1,000 plate of sushi in front of him, but he's barely can eat it anymore because he's so offended by the question. So yeah, he's ranting, and it gets a little hostile. At one point, it looks sort of like shaky footage because he's kind of getting in the TMZ reporter's face. But he said, yeah, it's none of our business, and he's a wonderful man. He said he looks great. Maybe he's lost weight. Maybe he's had surgery. I don't know. I don't care, and nobody else should either.
Okay. I think they had Nobu at the Golden Globes.
Really? Oh, I saw that actually. I saw that is amazing. Oh my God. I wish. We always say this, but I wish to be a fly on the dumpster of the garbage cans outside of Nobu that night. You know what I mean? A big, huge sushi. I was thinking how much ginger. I love ginger so much, but could you imagine how much ginger goes to the ash heaps of garbage cans every single day?
I always eat every drop of it.
Me too, and that's why. Why am I saying this to you? I'm a gingerhead too, but I just imagine some people don't eat ginger.
No one ever eats it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So
and the wasabi pile.
Yeah, and I eat half my wasabi too. I go half wasabi and most of my ginger. So I'm the ideal sushi consumer, but I know a lot of ginger's going in the trash. Do you think so?
Huge dumpsters filled with ginger. It's so sad. I also wanted to tell you that my dad, I had lunch with him today, and he was confused and dismayed as to why we weren't nominated for the podcast category.
I believe me, I could barely watch. I watched the Sean Penn smoking cigarette scandal, and then when they got to the podcast thing, I was like, not only did I not know this was a category, but how the hell did we not get nominated? And it was like Good Time with Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
Mark Maron.
No Mark Maron.
Oh, no Mark Maron.
He did make a cameo, but Mark Maron not being nominated makes me feel better because he's the godfather of podcasts, in my opinion.
It's true. He was an early adopter. Him and who was it? Well, I guess This American Life was a radio show. You can't really count that. Serial. Was Mark Maron before Serial?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's from like 2009.
All right, that's great. All right, okay. I think he was right around Comedy Bang Bang time too.
Yeah,
like they're both pioneers of podcasting. But so it was a Good Hang with Amy Poehler, Smartless, Call Her Daddy, and those are huge.
Dax.
Dax
And then
Shepard.
there was an NPR one, and like one other one. But
Those-
Amy Poehler's a noob in this category.
I know, but she's okay. Have you seen? I mean, like holy shit! Have you seen how viral this shit
The clips
goes?
are killing it.
I was just seeing this Gwyneth Paltrow one, and she's
Yeah.
fucking killing it. She goes, "What time do you eat dinner?" And Gwyneth Paltrow said 6 p.m. And it's like so funny and silly. I think it's just like, how the hell are we going to compete with that? Unless we get Leo DiCaprio, like we said on this podcast, we need to make a big splash. You know what I mean?
We might have a Leo Connect we could exploit.
Oh my god. Oh, that would be great. Even for 15 minutes. Like we could do
2
rapid
minutes.
fire. 2 minutes. Like a little cameo. Hey.
He did Marin
He did Marin.
with Brad combined. He had to go to them.
He did. Wow,
Yeah.
a rare time where Mark had to get over there. Whoa, holy shit. Oh my god. Woo. All right, I need to. Well, why wasn't he nominated? Okay, so it was kind of like the whole history of podcasting. You'd think would be nominated, but it's only the first year they're doing it, so they have to be relevant to what's happening now. But I think if we play our cards right, it's very clear that there's a pathway for us to get nominated at the Golden Globes next year.
Yeah, we have to start saving because I think it costs like $5,000 to submit.
No, that's money well spent. To even, I would even say that we are the Golden Globes submitted podcast. Like you could even just say like that's our little
We're
little
eligible
tagline.
to submit.
Eligible to submit. So I think that's great.
Or could we be like the Mrs. and Monsieur Globe, like how they used to have the children of actors be the people that would guide the nominees or the winners up to the podium? Like, could we just be the stage podium people that are like, right this way? You know?
Absolutely. I would love to do that. In one small way, that is how the Golden Globes could honor us, being those ushers. I
That
haven't
looks really
seen this.
stressful to me, actually, though, because you have to tell like Kate Winslet that she's going the wrong way, and you have to be like, pardon me, no, other way.
or then don't get me started. You got Warren Beatty huffing and puffing behind the scenes, and you're like, Mr. Beatty, can you wait 1 second? I got the best picture envelope right here. And he goes, no! Because this is the one I'm taking out there. Could you imagine being confronted by Warren Beatty? He blew it, to be honest, with when he got up there.
You'd have to tell Sean Penn to stop smoking.
Could you? I can't even. This would be the most high intensity pressure for me, who doesn't like to displease anyone. You'd be displeasing people like crazy. You know what I was thinking about the Golden Globes is it's nice, for television actors. Not that there's any sort of hierarchy here, but it is nice that it's the one event, or there's probably 100 award shows like this, where TV stars and film stars get to be in the same room, and like everyone is like, what do you mean? What did you say?
Yeah. Critics' Choice is like that, and SAG is like that.
Yeah, okay. So they get a lot of opportunity to see each other. But still, it's like, the Oscars is like, get these television actors out of here. Unless it was I don't know what the rules are, but this is kind of like the Pit. That's why you got that one guy from the Pit getting to talk to George Clooney.
Yes.
And it's like, you remember ER? You get those kind of those moments.
Crossovers.
And now don't get me started, but now the barrier between movies and television, it's barely there.
Indistinguishable.
A lot of actors are doing television. Kate Winslet, is she a film actor? But then she was also
Mayor
on
of
that.
Easttown or Avatar.
Yeah, it's like she could go. There's this huge. It's not this big of a barrier anymore.
Next.
Salt Lake City. This was an action-packed, wonderful part one of a reunion. Almost everything I put an exclamation point, and I said, I gotta remember this. Speaking of podcasts, that's you must remember this. But it's just like it was action packed. Lisa is on the ropes, getting like she's fighting for her life. I would say almost 40 minutes or 35 minutes of this was dedicated to Lisa, combating Lisa, her combating back. But there's wonderful moments. It starts out with a shocker, I would say. Right at the start. Well, first of all, Bronwyn has longer hair, which I think you noticed. Yeah. Total long hair, don't care attitude. And then Meredith goes, Andy, before you start, like, thanks for greeting us all, but before you start, shut up for a second, because Whitney did something truly reprehensible at BravoCon, and she would like to speak about it now.
I know. I was like, damn, you're like fucking up the whole order of things. Like, that took 10 minutes of a detour.
Yeah, he was just doing his pleasantries. He was like, Angie, he was like, we're going to need a medic. when you get hurt or whatever. And she was like, you should hear what Whitney did. And the disgraceful behavior that Whitney did was she was drunk as a skunk at BravoCon. And she went up to Meredith and she was being, I guess, kind of lovey, she says. And she goes, Meredith, why can't we be wonderful friends off camera and I can still berate the shit out of you on camera? Can't we just have a fake relationship? Because I love you so much and I always want to be your friend. So that's what Meredith wanted her to claim that she said. But Whitney, of course, she kind of gets out of this one. She goes, those are all lies. And now I hate you more than anything, Meredith. Now I know we can never be friends because you misconstrued what I said at BravoCon.
Right.
But she does admit she was drunk.
Yes. Meredith is like, you were fall down drunk. Your husband had to carry you up the stairs. And she goes, I already apologized to Andy for being too drunk on Watch What Happens Live. And he was like, I was just afraid you weren't going to make it across the stage. And I was like, which one? I don't remember that.
I don't remember her being so drunk. We need to go look at the footage again. We only saw Whitney. She didn't seem that drunk, but we already said this. Her and Jason. Oh, God.
Justin.
Jesus Christ, not Captain Jason I'm thinking of. Justin and Whitney were basically like a two-headed monster in terms of kissing. They were making out. She was pushing him back. Like, it was the most PDA I've ever seen a couple have at BravoCon. So
yeah,
I don't know if that
was
was
on his lap. So maybe he just picked her up after that while she was already in his lap and carried her upstairs.
Yeah, it was a sight to behold. But then that didn't resolve anything because Whitney just accuses Meredith of lying about that, and Whitney does the same. So then we get into some Lisa stuff about like the RV trip that she missed. Was it really with Ben Affleck and Blake Lively as to why she missed it? And Whitney said, well, that's later. But Whitney did say that she thinks that she was in Miami for a facelift. That's why there's no photos from this thing.
Right. Yeah. She's like, she's never missed a girls' trip before. I just don't believe that, that's what she was doing. And she's like, there's no pic of Ben Affleck. And Lisa thinks that this is a valid response. She pulls up a photo of her with Ben Affleck from 2017. It's like, that's not evidence.
No.
That's inadmissible.
Inadmissible. It's not, at least she met him at one point, but no, that's not from that event that you
I'm
said.
like, the question isn't if you were capable of meeting him or if you've ever met him, period. It's if you were with him last year.
Yeah, maybe it's like, look how many photos I've gotten. I can even show one from 2017. That's how many photos we've talked about. And then Andy goes, "Is it true what Heather said about you being a risky friend?" And Heather has to say, "Yes, I believe that." And Lisa goes, "Well, you're a snake friend. You're a friend that has all the characteristics of a snake for how you treat me." And Heather goes, "What is one example?" And she goes, "You brought up farting and making out gate, or you told Angie to talk about the fart make out heard around the world from Todd, right. And you told Angie it'd be so funny, like you were elbowing her, being like, this is going to be the funniest shit ever. Say that on camera," which Lisa thinks is snake behavior because she knew it's not funny. It's a slanderous possible lie that's going to make Todd look horrible. So Bronwyn is the one that should take offense at Heather's wheeling and dealing behind the scenes there about that kind of shit.
Yeah, she's like, you guys are in cahoots. And she's like, the way that you and Meredith are constantly in cahoots. And Lisa's like, I don't tag team with Meredith. I'm solo, honey. And she also says that, I forget, Heather says something about tag teaming, or there's something about doing that is very Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'm New York, baby, not Salt Lake. My blood, my DNA is New York City.
Yeah. That was not great either. Because she goes, you ride for each other. And right. Lisa goes, what a Utah term. And Heather goes, you're Utah. You've been there for 20 years. You're born and bred Utah. And she goes, nah, my DNA is not Utah. It is pure New York City through and through. I'm the Big Apple, baby. And Andy goes, and he's like, you're on Salt Lake City. Or Heather says that. It's like, I know you wanted to win in this argument and be like, she would have fought about anything in that moment, but you don't say on the Salt Lake City reunion that you're truer to New York than you are to Salt Lake City, like kind of a self-own.
Right. Yeah. You and Meredith are low key New York. And so yeah, they this is then Lisa gets into that they're all haters. She goes, she's like, you're always questioning my career. You don't celebrate that I'm a baddie and doing all kinds of cool shit. And they get into her lawsuits and how she says one is pending, the rest are dismissed. And then she starts getting into it with Bronwyn about, how she has lawsuits, and then faking a miscarriage scene gets brought up again. And Bronwyn's like, I swear to G, you are not allowed to talk about that. We have a truce. Like, don't even touch that subject. And even Andy's like, yeah, I thought we had a truce about that. Let's not go there.
Yeah, he did not want to relitigate that for 1 second. And then she goes, you broke the code that we adhere to many times. Let me count thy ways. What about you holding court at BravoCon talking about Todd being not only fat but having a small penis? And it's like, there's going to be no footage of that, right?
Roll the
clip. It's like, yeah, we saw Todd naked and we couldn't see his penis because it was so small. And I said, no, that's just because his stomach is covering it. And she's like surrounded
She's
by
having
fans.
the time of her life, like
Seriously.
loving it. I'm like,
Wow.
what a narc. What kind of a narc submits video footage from BravoCon is sacred. You can't do that.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I would never do that. I would be laughing like the court jester in court hearing Lisa say those
We
anecdotes to
paywall
me.
our shit like that.
Yeah, that is all. You have to pay $6, I think, a month one time to get that kind of shit. But no way. We would never send that to Bronwyn to stir up shit. Like,
Hell
look at what
no.
Lisa said. And then she goes, and what about all the other shit you say on TikTok? And there's funny evidence of it. She goes, Todd doesn't have any taste buds anymore because of how old he is. That's
He's
why he
fucking old.
So that's why he couldn't taste my tequila, because his taste buds weren't activated in a way that young people have them. And then in unseen footage, she called him a dirty old man. And Bronwyn goes, you also called him a pervert. And Lisa's like, yes, check. I say all that kind of stuff all the time.
There was a lot of unseen footage. They were talking about, did you know that John Barlow was married before?
No.
They
I didn't.
swept that under the rug because they were like, if you want to talk about Todd's ex-wife, we could talk about John's ex-wife. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. But
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care either. But Lisa, that's not what she would want to get into. And then Andy's like, what about this gout? God, I can't believe I'm going to say it again. Gout dick sucker stuff. What's so wrong about sucking dick? And Lisa goes, nothing is wrong with it, but it went viral. So who's to say, what it truly means? It's not my
gout dick
fault.
Sucker went viral. It's not my fault. People love it.
Yeah, that was great. And then they end. There was a lot of fights that I think well, obviously they like lasted a little longer, and like you can definitely see why this is 3 parts, because I felt like they were just organic fights were just popping up all over the place. They asked Lisa why she had this smoky eye malfunction in a confessional. I didn't notice that. I don't think, because we cover this in real time, and I don't think we ever got wind of that one. But then I kind of saw it. I didn't really know what that meant. One eye kind of just looked like this.
Yeah, there was a lot of online commentary about it. She said that she still uses that makeup artist, and she goes, we went for a look and it didn't land. She was funny about it. Didn't throw her artist under the bus. And then they move on to Angie doing that Arby's deal, and then she also did Spawn for another tequila brand. And Andy's like, was that shady? And Lisa goes, a lot of people have benefited from my wins, like trying to take credit for, and everyone's sort of like, no one is down with that. I think she pissed everyone off a lot when she said that she lives a different lifestyle. So now every time she tries to say that she brings money to the table for the group, everyone's like, fuck you.
Yeah, but in her defense, I mean, it is very clear that the sponsorships that Angie is getting are
In
because
reference.
embracing the competitive nature she has with Lisa, and trying to purposefully aggravate Lisa in a way by capitalizing on Angie's retorts back. Did Arby's like that she said, I don't do fries, I do franchise? But then, Arby's has fries, right? It's like, you know what I mean? It should have been a fryless fast food chain that prides themselves on not having fries. They have fries.
They have curly fries, don't they?
Oh, maybe that should be what they say. I don't do non-curly fries. And I like the Arby's franchise. But I was Andy was like, those were wonderful campaigns. I was like, I didn't really see that Arby's one. Right? Yeah. Did you see it? I saw it for 1 second on Instagram. Did it make a big splash?
Lisa goes, I didn't see it till late last night. And Angie's like, I saw it. And then Angie's like, also, I'm an OG for Kerastase. And everyone backs her up. They go, she brings Kerastase products in every goodie bag she's ever made. So she kind of got her back in that she's the one that brought Kerastase to the table.
Because she said you need Kerastase, Thermatique on Brittany's hair. Remember when we got gifted that wonderful, wonderful big bag of Kerastase before we even knew what it was?
We did? I thought we got Tresemme.
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my God. I really thought it was. Oh, no. Sorry. It was Tresemme. Do you like that as much?
Tresemme. Ooh la la.
Do you like Tresemme as much as Kerastase?
I don't really use products, so I still have them, and that was 2 years ago.
I gave mine away.
It was the night we met West.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, it was two huge wins. Meeting West and getting that full-blown
You don't need heat protectant?
No, I gave it to my mother-in-law. She loved it.
It's if you use that stuff, it's a good value.
I think it was $150 value, they said. Okay, so they're Lisa, I get why she irked them all by saying this kind of stuff, but there's sort of, I feel conflicted because there's truth to what Lisa says, but you don't want to say it. You can't end up like Lisa Vanderpump on Beverly Hills where everybody just fucking hates your guts and wants to run you off this shit. So I don't know. I guess at the reunion, maybe is the time to state your case, but Lisa can't keep lording her wins and successes and being the most powerful cast member over them forever. You got to make peace at some point. So she's not doing herself any favors here. Then we get a montage of the wonderful history of Salt Lake City because they just bumped past 100 episodes. You watch this montage, a tear runs down your eye seeing all this stuff. Whitney dropping that cake, bonnets,
little girl,
hospital smell. The funny one of Mary's are so funny still. Heather going, do you think I look inbred? And Mary goes, I do. Right to her face. It's like
she whispered, sorry.
Just so shocking. And it's you can tell. And, everyone is so delighting in these clips, crying, laughing. And Andy goes, here's to 100 more. Meredith said, I thought we'd only last 5 seasons. Maybe we should have only lasted 5 seasons, or maybe I should have only lasted 5 seasons. Talking about how the 6th season was kind of rough for her.
Do you think that was the same montage we saw at BravoCon?
Maybe they were testing the oohs and ahs. You know what I mean? The viewer reaction, because I think that we saw something similar to get us to feel the impact of Salt Lake City. Yes.
Yeah, because that was the last day of BravoCon. It was the last panel we got to go to before our flight. And because we were surmising that they didn't have a ton of back and forth between the women at the panel, because I think it was a week before the reunion, and they were like, we can't have them airing out all of this important shit already. We need to save it. And so it was more of a retrospective, but the package they showed, the crowd was literally frothing.
We were dying. It was standing ovations. It was exactly what you said. It was the highlight clips that they all reacted to from the past, but it really won over the crowd. That was who were the two wonderful hosts, Casey Wilson, Bitch Sesh. They killed it. That was one of the best what are those called, panels that I've ever seen in my life. And then they bring Brittany out, and I almost was like, it's almost criminal to keep Brittany on the sidelines as a friend of at this point. What the hell are they doing? They're keeping the snowflake out of her hands. She's a full-time cast member. They show her personal life, the daughter stuff, Jared. She's just as impactful as anybody else on the cast. It's time.
Yeah, treating her like a second-class citizen. She comes in, she's so happy. She brings in emotional support bear that has a verbal, message when you click his paw from Jared Osmond. She goes, I'm so happy to be here. And Andy goes, I know you are. I was like, rude.
He said that. Oh my God. Jared the bear, he was like, you're doing great, baby. I love you so much. It was really kind of really inspiring bear message. And then Heather for this holier than thou monocle on, looking your nose down on all these cast members when they got to the below deck shit, where it was like, what about this crazy crossover, Andy said, that we put together? Are you scared about being on below deck? And they're like, no, we had such a fun time. And then Andy goes, for the love of God, Heather, what the hell happened with this Captain Jason shit that you kept talking about? And I really feel like Heather just got so busted in this moment with her language. Talk about semantics, whatever the hell she's accusing Meredith of. My God, she backtracks the shit out of this thing. She says that fucked around, or what did she originally say? I was trying to remember. Hooked up.
Right.
I thought she said hooked up. And then she says, fucked around, and she goes, no. She goes, Andy, God, no, we couldn't have been more clear. No, we hung out every day. We danced at clubs. We fucked around. We call that fucking around. Andy goes, well, I don't call hanging out and fucking around the same thing at all.
Yeah, he's like, so you didn't kiss? She's like, no.
And she's like, I would be more clear.
I would be shouting it from the rooftops if I did. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, she was on the show, talked about it. She was on Watch What Happens Live and talked about it. And at BravoCon, I think she talked about it. And at no point was anyone clarified on what she meant until now, where she's finally, she just trying to stir up conversation?
Well, you mean the original time she said it?
Yeah. And ever since, where she didn't use clear language to denounce it. Because even on Watch What Happens Live, she was kind of coy about it.
I don't know. It's two things. One of two things. She either lied and tried to say words that were vague enough to make it appear like they made out or had sex or did something, and she didn't think it would be that big of a deal. But she wanted to, tell the world in that moment that she did it, not even thinking about cameras, possibly. Or they did kiss, and Captain Jason was in a relationship or something and said, please don't ever say that kind of shit. I cheated at that club and I kissed you one time and we can never talk about this again. I don't really know any other alternatives for how confusing this whole saga has been. But now she's saying no.
It never rang true to me, so...
So does this nip it in the bud? Do you think Heather almost in a way purposefully misspoke to lead us to believe that there was sex between them?
That's the thing. It's all just weird, so I don't really understand, but I think I can consider it squashed.
Oh my God, it is squashed. And then Bronwyn, they have to take Bronwyn, talk about, they're like, that sealed case you had, you can talk about it. It's not the law to not talk about it. Or someone said that, on Reddit. And she was like, yeah, but the other person that was doing all this shit in the workplace, it's like, it really, talking about it makes it so much more intriguing, because you're like, what the hell happened here? But she goes, I won't bring anyone else into my mess like I learned with Todd and my daughter, so I can't speak of this because it involves another person. So
right. Yeah. She also reveals she finally got her citizenship, which she was like, they're not letting felons get their citizenship, so it couldn't have been that bad. But Reddit thinks that there was something about her getting fired for using the corporate card, which would be juicy.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to die until you reveal all. That's what the Heather thing is about, the Captain Jason thing. You just had to emphatically state the truth from both parties to get it to end. And I don't think $100,000 worth of credit card debt, Lisa Barlow is not going to let that up in any conversation she has with you if you ever try to go against her again. Right. So we got to get to the bottom of this at some point. And then they talk about Lisa potentially leaking things, right? About if she leaked, if the timing was just a little too coincidental, that when Bronwyn was about to go on this trip to the below deck crossover, that everyone got wind of these lawsuits. And Bronwyn doesn't emphatically say that she thinks Lisa was behind it.
Right. I thought what she said made sense. She goes, I don't think that she's leaking the stories, but she does make sure that those stories get traction on the show, which I think there's a distinction, because they were making such a meal out of the headlines that were getting leaked or whatever. And a lot of it, like we were talking about at the time, never even touched our eyes and ears before the season. So I'm like, why are you so mad? It didn't even make it to the headlines, really. But I understand the idea of, because one of the things was like Bronwyn late to cast trip amid financial turmoil or whatever. And she's like, well, the only people who knew that we were doing a cast trip were on the boat, unless it, besides production. So that sort of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I was glad that Bronwyn didn't try to make it seem like Lisa was doing all this stuff leaking to bloggers. Lisa does, I forget, out of nowhere, no one's asking anything. It's kind of silent. And he's like, anybody have anything to say? And Lisa goes, I learned to read at 3.5 years old. And I was like, that's awesome.
She's like, my early reading abilities made it easy for me to read Twitter and dispense information that I learned on Twitter.
I said, that is awesome. 3.5 years old. Like, I would tell anybody that or I would brag about that for the rest of my life. And then Lisa, this is when they say, Lisa says, I don't do this kind of shit. I'm too big and cool. And I do a lot of cool stuff, and this kind of shit is so stupid to me that I don't care about it. And Heather goes, well, then why the hell does someone who doesn't care about what people say have 6 lawyers and a cybersecurity team on deck to do their bidding? And then I think Heather goes, and I don't know what the hell, or Lisa says, I have millions and millions of dollars. And Heather goes, I don't know how the hell you have millions of dollars. What the hell are all these businesses you have? Lux Marketing? I don't know how you make money. And you might as well put a dagger through Lisa's heart. She can't believe that Heather doesn't know how the hell she makes money.
All of her key terms to defend herself immediately are things that no one on earth knows what they mean. She goes, experiential activities. We incubate brands. I'm like, okay, you're not helping your case. That is gobbledygook.
Yeah, but for people in the know, there is experiential marketers out here who just got their fork and knife and ate a big plate of words that make sense.
I've been to Comic-Con. I get it.
Yeah, incubate brands. I don't know any of this stuff. I didn't say I knew what I always thought experiential activities are if I go to see Avatar Fire and Ash. She's a person who makes the egg go on fire at the premiere and also lets you put on goggles that see in 3D before you go out there or ride on that big dinosaur.
Yeah. It would be like at Comic-Con, they had a Jack Reacher maze.
Yeah. Yeah. Experiential activities. And she goes, you've been to my events with Daniel Radcliffe and the Weasley twins, and you don't know what the hell I do? She goes, you dance with Daniel Radcliffe and both of the Weasley boys, and you're sitting here saying you don't know what the hell I do? How dare you? It's disgusting to insinuate that you don't know what the hell I do. And I was like, disgusting, of course, is so funny, but there is some truth to the idea that Heather is not knowing what she does after 6 years is kind of,
she was being disingenuous. She was being an asshole.
Making her say it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to events with Daniel Radcliffe.
That is awesome. What was it? The Swiss Army Man?
He had a show no one watched on TBS called Miracle Workers.
Oh my God, I remember that. Written by oh my God, who is that person?
Simon.
Yeah. Who writes
stinker.
for the New Yorker? Yeah, the little stinker. Simon.
What the hell is his name?
Yeah, but he wrote that. Oh, that's awesome. So what was the activation?
Well, I guess it wasn't.
Event.
I think it was just the TCAs, like the critics thing, and I made him and his castmates do like a fucking TikTok or something, and he was the nicest celebrity I've ever met in my life. He like looked me in the eye, asked my name, shook my hand, like so nice.
Oh my God, that's nice to hear. We say a lot of stories of bad celebrities who behave horribly. That's nice to have to balance the levers here a little bit. Daniel Radcliffe is nice,
superstar, so sweet.
Simon Rich.
There you go.
Simon Rich.
Yeah. So yeah, Lisa's fired up. She's like, that is disgusting that you would question how I make my millions. I do big things with big deal people. Yeah. And Andy's like, well, aren't you guys friends? Heather's like, she's not a good friend, but she's an important friend. And then can you explain to me, I was a little confused about the scroll. Did Meredith give Angie that scroll?
I think how I perceived it was that they said something like, Angie said something about how Lisa that Lisa actually is the biggest troll on earth. Can I give you an example of trolling? Yeah, maybe it was out of nowhere, and that's why we don't really know how this was revealed. But she says, let me show you proof in this scroll. When you unravel it, Andy, you will see that there's a phone number that trolls me constantly, texts me 5 or 6 times a day, and it's directly linked to Lisa's number, of which you all know, her cell phone number. And it's kind of like, I mean, I can't wait for part 2, but like, what? Lisa's on a burner phone, being like, you suck, Angie. Great job on Arby's.
It was confusing, and then did Meredith give her? Maybe she was using the stand because didn't Meredith give her a scroll as a gift, like a nice one?
Okay.
And then I think she reused the like silver scroll holder to present this evidence on a scroll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's how Meredith gets in this scroll, is unveiled within this scroll. But yeah, I mean, the accusation is that Lisa is just constantly on her burner phone, just going nuts, texting in all green texts to Angie nonstop. Green goblin text, just saying like making fun of all of her campaigns and just talking pure shit. So if that's revealed, I'll be thinking of Lisa differently if she's constantly just. Did you ever see that documentary where that mom that was hanging out with a bunch of teenagers and she was texting her daughter, being like
horrible shit.
Oh my God, if Lisa's doing that kind of stuff, like, you do not want to do that. That is
Demented.
You don't want to remind me of that true crime documentary ever in your life. That was too weird for me.
Did you watch? I missed it. I kind of want to go back and watch it. John Oliver was on with Angie on Watch What Happens last week, and she posted a carousel, and John Oliver met her dad. Really? I think she flew in her dad for Watch What Happens, and there was a photo of her sweet Greek dad and John Oliver. And I'm like, I actually want to hear John Oliver's commentary on the reunion, because I do enjoy his zeal for the show.
Yeah, I loved his zeal. I didn't like his Meredith answer when they were doing the voting on Meredith. He was just like, I agree with everyone but Meredith. She's been doing really bad this season. Don't we all agree? Just such bad stuff for Meredith. I was like, okay, great take there. You want to elaborate at all about what Meredith did wrong this season? It just was so surface level. He was just going where the tides were going. I was like, I expected more zeal.
We'll have to interview him.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great. Leo and then Leo and then John Oliver. Huh? That wouldn't be too bad for celebrity interviews. That'd be great.
But yeah, I really enjoyed. I feel like this was a good stage for them to just all be entertaining. Nothing was particularly resolved or like a bombshell, but every part of it was enjoyable.
So fun. This is what happens in reunions with dynamic cast members, where even if you didn't really enjoy the season or there were lulls, just getting them all in the same room to go nuts, is always entertaining. You almost always love reunions in a way. They're just so filled with a bunch of fun stuff.
Don't you feel like Andy still likes them all? There are certain casts where he's totally fed up. I know he does walk off of this reunion at some point, so maybe that won't be true. But at one point, Angie goes, Andy, I saw that Ben, Andy's son, lost his tooth. Did you have to do the tooth fairy stuff this morning? And he was like, oh my God, he brought his tooth into school and was showing his friends, and I was bawling. And I feel like he cares about these women. I mean, I know he loves all the housewives, but I just got a special vibe there that I don't know, sometimes you'll watch certain things, you're like, I think this city's gonna get canceled because he hates them all.
Oh yeah. No, I see the love for sure, and the accolades that Salt Lake City gets, all these covers of magazines and stuff like that, is not going unnoticed at Bravo. This is an untouchable franchise. The only time I felt like Andy was legitimately mad was when Heather alluded to the idea that a member of production might have given her the black eye. I felt Andy's wrath towards Heather, and I was like, that is going to take a long time for Heather to get back in his good graces for accusing production of doing something like that. But I think he's forgiven her. I can't even imagine behind the scenes how Heather had to account for that. But I agree with you completely. I think this is a cherished cast to him and a cherished cast to us at Turtle Time.
True. Good shit. Looking forward to the next 2. which will like pretty much usher us into summer house season, I think.
I just watched they were teeing up the season and watching Carl run out to go try to beat up Kyle. I was like, oh my God, how is this possible? Season 10 of Summer House could possibly be another epic season like they always have. So I can't wait to get in that. So stick with us, 3 weeks of this or 2 more weeks. And then Summer House, Turtle Time is, we're shooting to the moon this year. 2026 is the year of Turtle Time. We're getting in the Golden Globe nomination. We're interviewing a huge celebrity guest. So stick with us. You're going to want to say you were an early adopter of Turtle Time. Don't be one of those Fairweather fans that hops on at the end of 2026 when we're nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah. I mean, every other award show could also add a category. We could be riddled with awards.
That would be amazing. I'd take a SAG award or Critics' Choice, any one of these awards.
What about like a Webby?
Webby would be great. Any awards. I'm kind of I gotta say, I'm a sucker for an award. Formosa Film Institute. I'm like, sure. Yeah. I would put that on our podcast art, any of that.
Yeah, I'm ready to glad hand kiss babies.
Me too. I'm going to schmooze my ass off. I'm going to be creating those whisper campaigns against other podcasts. I heard Good Hang only is good after the first 10 minutes, or like
Dax Shepard's a killer.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm whispering. If we were those ushers the first year, we get to whisper. We do the whisper campaigns first, and then we sort of capitalize on that once we've denigrated all those other podcasts.
Yes.
Great.
So yeah, thanks for joining us, getting in on the ground floor. If you want even more access, as we always say, you can join us on Patreon, get an extra weekly episode as well as an extra monthly episode. So that's 5 extra episodes a month if you do the $10 tier. We have fun stuff on Etsy. Rate and review. We love you.
Go nuts. We need some reviews. We need some reviews. We need some likes on YouTube. If you can't spend time paying money to us for Patreon, at least spend 5 minutes if you can spare it, of just giving us some social likes. We would love it. That means the world to us when you do that kind of stuff, for sure. So do that, and then we'll be back like a normal we go on Friday.
Well, Friday.
Yeah, we have an episode of Friday, so we'll be back talking about all that other shit. Beverly Hills and Southern Charm. That's the great episode. You gotta listen to Friday. So we'll be back on Friday. We love y'all. Goodbye.
Bye.